Hi, and welcome to Ask the Rabbi. Today's question is, what are the criteria to be the ultimate Redeemer, the Messiah, in Hebrew, Mashiach? To understand this, we're going to look at a medieval commentator, the Rabbi, one of the most famous Jewish commentators in Jewish history, who actually wrote down the Jewish law on this, based upon the oral tradition which was given to Moses at Mount Sinai. And he writes, this is a concise answer, V'im yamoid melech mibeis David, and if they will stand up a king from the house of David, in other words, a descendant of King David, Torah, he is not only just well versed, he's not just learned through the whole of the Torah, the oral or written Torah, and he's well versed in it, but he understands it, that he's asked questions in it, he answers those questions, and he's very, very into the Torah. And also the commandments, he's occupied them. What do you mean occupied? Not just that he does them like an employee will do his work, but like an employer, that when the employee goes home and he eats, he forgets about his work. The employer, when he goes back and he eats, and he finishes his day, he's still thinking about his work. He's still thinking about how his business is. The same is his osik b'mitzvahs. That he's involved in the mitzvahs. He's constantly thinking about them. He's constantly thinking about the commandments which God has commanded us to do. He's involved in those commandments. Kedavid Ovid, like King David, his ancestor. According to the written tradition, the written Torah, and the oral tradition, which these words seem to negate what the Rambam writes beforehand in a separate place, that how do we know about the false messiahs? The false messiahs, what did they do? They were people who added to the Torah, or they took away from the Torah, or they abstracted things from the Torah, from their true meaning. So, Mashiach, is going to be according to the Torah, not adding, taking away, or abstracting things from it. V'Yachov kol Yisrael leilech ba, and is going to force all the Jewish people to go in its ways, in the ways of Torah, ulechazek bidka, and for those who have gone off the track, he's going to strengthen them, bring them back, and strengthen any breaches in the way that the Torah has been done, as the way people have practiced it. And he will fight the wars of God. Now this, he will fight wars, doesn't necessarily mean that he will fight physical wars. It can also mean that he will achieve what a war achieves, as we find in other parts of the Torah where this phrase is used, that the point being is that the Jews should be able to be free to do Torah mitzvahs, to do what God wants. That's the main thing here. He will achieve that, not necessarily through a physical battle though. If he does all of this, Harei zeh b'chezka shehu Mashiach. Behold, he is someone who we can call, we can say, he is going to be Mashiach. He is going to be the Redeemer. Until proven otherwise. In other words, in every generation, you find someone, that there has to be someone who is proper to be in the Messiah. Proper to be the ultimate Redeemer. In certain generations, we can actually see that in actuality. We can actually point to the person, as we find in the Talmud and throughout generations, in different generations, there were certain people who we could say that person will be the Mashiach until proven otherwise. But then there's another stage, the final stage. Im asa, if he did this, v'hitzliach, and he was successful. In other words, the one who we're pointing out and we're saying that he will be the Mashiach, not necessarily he was successful. He's just trying to do it. But if he did it, and he was successful, v'nitzach kol ha'umah shesvivav, and he conquered all the nations around him. That they should, what do you mean conquer? That they should be doing the 7 Noachide laws. They should not only be forced to do it, they should be willing to do it. They should be understanding that that's what they want to do. Uvana Migdash bimkoimo, and he builds the temple in its place. V'kimes nitchei Yisrael, and he gathers all the Jews around the whole world, and is going to gather them to come together to the land of Israel. Harei zeh Mashiach b'vadai. This is the ultimate Redeemer. This is the one we're going to know. He is the one. He is the ultimate Redeemer. And he will fix up the world, that all the world will be to come together to serve the one God. Like it says, there's a famous story of a non-Jew who came to a chassid and he said, what happens if your Messiah comes and I don't believe in him? I won't believe in him. So the chassid said, I also won't believe in him. Because that's one of the criteria, that the whole world will recognize the one God and serve him. That means a Jew doing what they're supposed to do, their commandments, and doing it in a way not they're forced to do it, but they understand it's something that they're willing to do. Mashiach isn't something where he's coming to enforce it. He's coming to bring it out of us, that this is something that we actually want to do, that we see that this is the right way. And also amongst the non-Jews, which has never been done before. The non-Jews as well, or the whole world is all together, that they want to serve the one God. The non-Jews by the 7 Noachide laws, as we said, and the Jews by their laws. Shnema, as it says in Safanya, Ki az efoich el amim safa vrura lekroi chulam b'shem Hashem ulo avdu b'shichem echad. Then God, I will turn over the language of the nation to a clear language, to call out in the name of God, to serve Him as one. They will all be serving God as one. And as the Lubavitcher Rebbe has prophesied, that this time is coming very, very soon, and may it come today. If you want to further question me about this, you can email me, Facebook me, or even ask me the next time you see me. Have a great day.